Okay, this is a continued video on how to set up your lathe for threading. And I promised you in the previous video that I'd show you how to put this on 0, the compound reading. For a review, we touched the tool off. I touched the tool off, or rather I put my cross feed on 0 first, and then I ran my compound in my tool up against my 3/4 diameter with my compound, turning it very slowly till it touched, and then I move it off my part, and then I clamp my compound feed with my right hand, and I can turn this little friction disc with the numbers on it and put that on 0. So what that does, it puts my cross feed on 0. I've already done that. My tool is touching the major diameter of my part, of my thread, and my compound's on 0. So that's how we set up 0 on cross feed, tool touching, and compound 0. This is like a friction knob. So okay, that's how you do that. Now we're ready to thread. Okay, let's thread this thing. Start my spindle, back off my cross feed, move it over this area, go back to 0. Now I say if you pass 0, make sure to get your backlash out, you got to turn it a half a turn at least, and then go back to 0. That gets your backlash out. Because let me show you how much the dial moves before the cross feed even moves. So that's how much backlash is in this machine. So you got to account for the backlash. So you always want your backlash to go forward, which takes your backlash out. So I can back it off, and you can see how much it moves. See how much that moves? So you want to make sure you get your backlash out. Alright, so I'm going to go back to 0. And now I'm going to engage my threading dial on the line, on any line. So here we go. So I crank in my cross feed. My first pass is going to be 25 thousandths. Engage at any line. Be sure and pick it up when my threading tool gets to that gap. Okay. I back it out, move it back down, go back to 0, this time I'll go in 5 thousandths less, so I'll go 20 thousandths, which means 5, 10, 15, 20, so I'll go to 45 and engage it at any line. And it follows that groove perfectly. back it off, move it back over, go back to 0. Now I go 5 thousandths less. So I went 20 thousandths before, and I'll just go 15. 5, 10, 15 thousandths. So I'm going to go 5 thousandths less each pass. Engage it at any line. I'm going to advance my tool 5 thousandths each pass until I get to 5, and then I'll only take 5, or maybe even 3. Back it off, move my tool back over, go back to 0. All right. So I went 15, now I'll go 10, engage at any line, go back to 0. Now I'm going to go 5 thousandths, and I'll just keep doing 5 until my nut goes on. Back to 0. Okay, I'm going to check my nut. I'm going to check with my nut. So I'm going to stop that. Okay, I want to check my threads. So I can move this back because I always know it's going to go back on 0. I loosen my clamp here for rigidity on my tailstock, and I turn this tailstock back. Now, before you take your part out, always make sure that you put it back in the same slot. If you don't put it back in the same slot, your threads will be 180 degrees out of phase, and your tool will split your threads right down the middle, and that'll ruin your threads. So you always want to make sure before you take your part out that you take note of where your lathe dog is. So let's check our threads. There's our 3/4 16 nut. Make sure there's no trash in it. Well, there it goes. So, all right, if it wouldn't go on, if it wouldn't spin on like that, I would want to make sure to take a little bit more off. But before that, I want to make sure my dog is right back in the same slot. And also, it's a good idea to preload your part against one side, the correct side. In this case, this side, to get it exactly indexed correctly. So, well, those are good threads, 3/4 16 threads. Now, I want to thread my 7/8 14. So we'll do that in the next video.